This is Simon with Whedonverse, here with Scott Allie of Dark Horse Comics. Scott, tell us about the big plans that Dark Horse has for this convention.
Well, we just now announced 3 big new projects. Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine is writing a book called Orchid, which is about a young woman in a kind of futuristic end-of-the-world scenario. There's political overtones that you'd expect from Tom. It's really a great story with Scott Hepburn on art. PC Cast, a very popular novelist whose series House of Night has sold like 5 million copies. We're doing a comic series with her based on House of Night. And we just announced The Strain from Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan, a series of novels that they've been doing. We're going to be doing as comics with David Lapham and Mike Huddleston. We're right now about a month away from Angel and Faith #1 coming out. And then 2 weeks later, Buffy #1 comes out. So season 9, kicks off. So we're just jazzed for that, really. We've announced the creative teams already. We got Rebecca Isaacs and Chris Gage doing Angel and Faith, and Joss and Georges Genti are back on Buffy with Andrew Chambliss, one of the writers from Dollhouse and also from Vampire Diaries, and now he's working on Once Upon a Time with Jane Espenson. He's co-writing with Joss for Buffy. Buffy's in San Francisco, Angel and Faith are in London. Buffy is trying to settle into a nice, normal life at this point. She's still fighting vampires, but she's trying to have a bit more of a normal life, and obviously running into big problems there. Willow's a major part of the cast. Xander and Dawn are around, and we'll be fleshing out the cast from there. With Angel and Faith, it's a lot of new characters. We're introducing a group of new Slayers that Faith is sort of mentoring. The main one is a girl named Nadira, who's an Indian girl that needs special attention from Faith, let's say.
In terms of the crossover possibilities, has there been some discussion of reuniting those 2 main leads?
Faith and Buffy?
Well, Angel and Buffy.
No, we're going to keep them apart. After everything that went down between them, they're going to stay apart from each other. There will be a sense of crossover between the 2 books, and there'll be other books that will kind of bridge that gap. With the destruction of the Seed and other destruction that happened at the end of Season 8, there's a lot of repercussions that are going to affect everybody in the world, particularly characters involved in magic and supernatural things. So there are things happening in both books that are very similar. There's things happening in the world that you see very clearly in both books. And there will be some characters moving from book to book, but there won't be a real blatant crossover anytime soon. For Dark Horse, this is a brand new show in a lot of ways. We've got a new booth that's a big deal for us. We've got a booth that we're really proud of. It gives us a much more modern presentation. Comic-Con and comic conventions in general get more sophisticated every year, and so the publishers have to kind of keep up with that. So we've made a lot of changes to our presentation over the years, and this is the biggest transformation I think we've gone through, and I'm pretty excited about that. Joss is very busy with the Avengers, so we're lucky to have him on Saturday. He's going to be doing a panel for us. He's going to be doing a signing with us as well as a signing with Marvel, but his time is so tight right now that we're all kind of just lucky to have him here for that. We're going to be doing a panel on Thursday afternoon about gay and lesbian themes in the Buffy universe, doing that with some of the writers from the show and at least one of the actors, Tom Lenk. It's nice to have Angel back. That's a big deal for us. Having all of the Whedon properties back under one roof is really good, and it just makes it easier for us to have a real strong reach out to the fans, especially through groups like you.
A bit of a coup for you to have Joss Whedon. There was a little bit of fear with Marvel. How did you go about locking him down for a panel when nobody else was sure he was going to actually be here?
Well, just planning ahead. I mean, we've been working on that. We've been wrestling with that question for quite a long time. But it all has to do with the Avengers shooting schedule. It's not so much Marvel. It's not like Dark Horse and Marvel wrestling over his time so much as he's just busy making a movie, And when Marvel did their major rollout for the Avengers last year, they weren't going to do as big a thing this year. So the question was, is he going to just be working straight through, the weekend? Fortunately, no.